As we all know, Suge Knight is one of the rap industry's most notorious bullies ever. He had everyone in the hood terrified, and everyone knew better than to cross his path. But all of that began to change after Suge's days of committing crimes and getting away scot-free came to an end. After bagging 28 years in jail, Suge went from the most feared man in the rap game to one of the unluckiest men in the industry. And with all that's going on with Suge in jail, it doesn't look like he'll make it out alive. Keep watching till the end of this video to see what's really happening to Suge Knight in prison. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Suge Knight sentenced for 28 years in prison. Suge Knight's downfall began on January 29, 2015, after he crashed his vehicle, which cost the life of one man, Terry Carter, and left the other, Clee Sloan, with severe injuries in his ankles and head. After numerous run-ins with the law, there was no way Suge Knight would walk out of this one easily, especially with multiple witnesses and surveillance footage as proof that he, in fact, committed the crime. I bet you're itching to know exactly what went down that led to this accident. On that fateful day, Suge pulled up with a Ford Raptor truck at Thames Burgers in Compton and made his way down to the set of Straight Outta Compton, while movie production was still in progress. As seen in the surveillance footage, Sloan appeared to have had a brief conversation which quickly broke out into an argument with the person inside the truck. In no time, the person driving the vehicle puts it in reverse, knocking Sloan to the ground as he tries to walk away. Not satisfied with an already injured Sloan, the truck moves forward and reverses into Sloan, who is still struggling to get to his feet. In a bid to drive out of the premises, the truck runs into Carter. Witnesses who were present on the scene testified that Suge had driven into these men intentionally. He was arrested for the crime and placed on a $25 million bond, which wasn't surprising, because Suge isn't just a returning offender, he's a constant offender. Unable to make bail, his attorneys pleaded that his bail be dropped to $10 million. The court, however, denied this motion, and Suge went to trial. One of Carter's family members spoke movingly at Suge Knight's sentencing about the devastating emotional impact his passing had on her family. Her face is not visible in the video, as she also criticized Suge for the activities that resulted in Carter's passing. She said during the testimony, "Suge didn't even exit the vehicle to check on my uncle's well-being. My family has to keep this forever, for all eternity," as she breaks into tears. "The entire world will change. Condolences have only been extended to my family. There hasn't even been an apology from Suge." Suge Knight pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter. He received 28 years in prison. Due to the severity and brutal nature of the crime he was found guilty of, alongside the multiple offenses he had committed prior to this crime. To top it off, Suge was said to have been in possession of a firearm when the incident occurred in January 2015. In total, he received 22 years for running over the victim, and 6 years because it was his third strike under California's 3 strikes law. Suge is still incarcerated at R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego and will not be eligible for parole until October 2034. Suge Knight's life in prison. After 5 years in jail, a whole lot has happened to Suge Knight in his prison cell. From granting prison interviews to getting fed hopes of coming out of prison. During an interview, Alex Alonso revealed that while he went to visit in prison, he ran into Suge, and unlike other inmates, Suge Knight placed in protective custody. No one is sure why Suge wasn't placed with the general population, but if anyone could take a wild guess, it wouldn't be surprising if he was separated. But could Suge still be as dangerous within the prison walls? With his declining health, there may be chances that Suge could be calmer and nicer to them. Back in 2016, while he was in jail before his sentencing, Suge had to undergo a surgery after he experienced some pain in his appendix region. He claimed that he was going to bear the pain until it prevented him from standing properly. Suge required an emergency operation and had to sit through several weeks of recovery. And in March 2017, Knight was hospitalized again after suffering from blood clots, a condition that had been affecting him for 2 years by that time. Suge's fear was that he was never going to get out of jail, and that he was most likely going to die there. So it's quite clear that his health is declining rapidly. Although Suge was worried about dying in jail and the authorities were more concerned that someone might kill him, Suge didn't want to be alone in prison. So he decided to do his best to take someone down with him, and he chose his former partner, Dr. Dre. In his first interview from jail, Suge revealed that Dr. Dre had set him up and went as far as hiring people to kill him. According to Suge, the police had told him Dr. Dre hired the man who shot him 7 times at Chris Brown's pre-VMA party 6 months earlier in the summer of 2014. Dr. Dre, we've been really good friends for years. Matter of fact, I know his kids, he knows my kid, and I was told that he had paid some guys to harm me, Suge Knight testified. Believe it, because authorities do lie. So I went up there. I was going to talk to him and say, hey man, I'm not going to react to what authorities say about you having something to do with me getting shot or paid somebody to get me killed. I just want to make you aware. They are saying this and putting it out there. However, Dr. Dre denied these wild allegations. Given that Dre has had zero interaction with Suge since leaving Death Row Records in 1996, we hope that Suge's lawyer has lots of malicious prosecution insurance, Dre's lawyer said in a statement. Suge Knight's previous criminal records. It's not surprising that Suge has been referred to as the biggest bully of the rap game. While the major reason is due to how badly he treated rappers, we also can't excuse the fact that Suge has been arrested one too many times. Long before becoming a music executive, he already had issues with the feds. In 1987, Suge had his first run-in with the law after getting arrested for assaulting his girlfriend at the time. In August 1987, while Suge and his girlfriend, Sharita Golden, were in a moving vehicle, the two got into a fight, and Suge punched her in the back of the head while yanking her ponytail off. He was arrested and charged with domestic violence, while Sharita got a restraining order against him. Suge went on to violate his probation in 1992. Suge went on to assault 2 rappers. He beat up the 2 rappers and stripped them naked. They pressed charges, and by 1995, Suge was sentenced to 5 years probation. But of course, if keeping a 2 years probation was difficult for Suge, what would make a 5 years probation easier? Again, Suge violated his probation. So by 1996, just a few hours before Tupac Shakur was shot and killed, he beat up Orlando Anderson, a Crips gang member. Suge bagged a 9-year sentence for this crime. However, he was released on parole in 2001. That's the end of today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content. Thanks.